The San Francisco 49ers are free-falling, having lost 4 games in a row, and a lot of the Niner Empire is calling for Kyle Shanahan's head. So if you think Kyle Shanahan should be firmly entrenched on the hot seat, hit that thumbs up icon, like the video, and let's get into today's show. You're watching the 49ers Report by Chat Sports. I'm your host, as always, Chase Sr. Happy Monday to you. I hope your weeks are off to a good start, especially coming off that ugly loss on Sunday Night Football to the Indianapolis Colts. Coming up on today's show, we're going to talk about Kyle Shanahan as well as John Lynch and get into the latest Brandon Aiyuk trade rumors. But first, shout out to today's sponsor, Manscape, for powering today's show. You can get 20% off and free shipping on the best men's grooming products by going to manscaped.com/49ers and to the promo code 49ers. I'll put that link in the description as well as the comment section of this video. So I was doing a watch party between the Niners and the Colts for that Sunday Night Football disastrous loss last night. And after the game, the common theme in the comment section from the Niner Empire was that Kyle Shanahan should either be on the hot seat or Kyle Shanahan should get fired. Now, some of that is a little bit of an overreaction, but we're a half decade into this Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch era, and there's only been one winning season, and the success hasn't been consistent at all. It's actually been pretty rare. You take a look at Kyle Shanahan's year-by-year record. He gets hired in 2017 to reboot this franchise and rebuild it. They go 6-10, no problem there. And then in 2018, they take a step back by going 4-12. In 2019, they came out of nowhere to surprise a lot of people, sending a ripple effect throughout the National Football League landscape. They go 13-3. They make it to the Super Bowl. They host the NFC Championship game where they dump truck Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. They take a 21-10 lead into the fourth quarter of that Super Bowl, but before the Chiefs had mounted that comeback. Then after that, in 2020, it was a really frustrating and maddening season because of the litany of injuries that the Niners had suffered. They go 6-10. And now, after a 2-0 start to a 2021 campaign that looked promising from the jump, they've lost 4 games in a row, and Kyle Shanahan's record through 4+ years is 31-39. When you take a look at the entire landscape of the NFL, a head coach general manager duo in their 5th season with a 31-39 overall record probably wouldn't have a job right now, and they wouldn't be given the benefit of the doubt. Jed York is giving that to them now, but the big question, should Kyle Shanahan be on the hot seat, as I mentioned, and should he be given some breathing room and some more time to turn this around, given that we're 5 years into this tenure? My big question right now, and this kind of surfaced last night when I was watching that Colts game play out, 30-18, the Niners made a bunch of mistakes. I asked myself, and this is another question that I asked myself this morning when I was kind of getting ready for the workday, do the 49ers look well coached right now? I think my answer to that question is no. They commit a bunch of penalties. They're not consistent on the offensive end of the football. Kyle Shanahan is supposed to be some offensive wizard, which I have deemed him as, and I think he's shown that ability in the past, but through 6 weeks, he has not been that. And this is a team that's just overall sloppy and not playing up to their standards when they do have a lot of premier talent on the offensive and defensive sides of the football. So what's going on with Kyle Shanahan? The opening script for some of these games, I think, has been pretty good. I look back at that Seahawks loss. The opening drive, they go down the field, they score a touchdown. I was impressed. What they did with Trey Lance early in the game against Arizona, I think there were some good things to take away from that. And then last night against the Colts, they march right down the field 70+ yards, and they're able to put a touchdown on the board once again. So the opening play scripts from Kyle Shanahan, which he puts together during the practice week, has looked good. His play calling outside of that has been really, really bad. How about the Niners' conversion rate on third down? 31.4%. That is 30th in the National Football League, just ahead of the Chicago Bears and the Jacksonville Jaguars, 2 teams that are anemic on the offensive side of the football. Points per game, 20th in the league, averaging just 22.5 points per game. It's not good enough when your coach is supposed to be an offensive mastermind. And the penalties continue to surface. The Niners have been one of the more often penalized teams over the last couple of weeks. This is a trend that has become more and more concerning with time. And it was a trend that once again showed coming out of the bye week after suffering 3 consecutive losses in a game that I thought was a must-win. 7 penalties for 122 yards. The defensive backs are just running into wide receivers, hugging them. That goes back to coaching, and this is a team also that has no identity, and they look absolutely rudderless, absolutely stagnant, and really just lame out there. And all of these talking points come back to the head coach. And Kyle Shanahan talked about the pressure being on him and him receiving a lot of this criticism from the fan base, but also people across the league. After the game last night against the Colts, he said this, quote, "We've lost 4 games in a row, and I'm the head coach of this team. I expect the criticism, and I deserve it. I haven't gotten into a great rhythm. I haven't felt comfortable with it. I have a lot of things to figure out." At least that's somewhat of a positive, that Shanahan feels the heat and he understands he has to be better, because Kyle, you have to be much, much better than what you've been the first month and a half of the season. So should Kyle Shanahan be on the hot seat? I think it's a little bit early to be having those conversations. Should you be concerned and should you be frustrated? The answer to those questions certainly is a yes, because in addition to some of the things that I've been talking about on today's show, some of the personnel decisions have also been weird, and it's been said that Kyle Shanahan has personnel control. Why are you not getting Brandon Aiyuk more involved in this offense? And we'll talk about Aiyuk coming up. Why did Jalen Hurd, who has not played a single regular season snap in 3 years, make the 53-man roster? Some of the other game day decisions have also been decisions that I haven't agreed with. Now, I will give him some credit and I will give him some slack, because throughout his Niners tenure, this is an organization that has been crushed by injuries, especially to the most important position in all of sports. And of course, that is quarterback. Jimmy Garoppolo has gotten injured a lot, so that means that Kyle Shanahan has had to coach these teams with the likes of CJ Beathard as well as Nick Mullins. These guys, at the very best, are journeyman backups. They are not long-term starters, yet Shanahan has had to coach these guys as long-term starters. Now, he was finally able to get his future franchise quarterback in Trey Lance, and I want to see how he's able to mold, teach, and coach him moving into the future, because I think Trey Lance in a Kyle Shanahan offense could be really, really dangerous. But even his handling of the Jimmy Garoppolo-Trey Lance situation has made me scratch my head at times as well. Your opportunity now to chime in and voice your opinions on the subject matter, in addition to how I opened up the show. How hot should Kyle Shanahan's seat be? Scale it for me from 1 to 100. 1 being, it's cool. 100 to, it's very, very hot. Get those votes in the comment section right now. This 49ers season, given that they've lost 4 consecutive games, in a little bit of a free fall. Well, you don't want to let your nether region free fall and snowball, because if it gets too hairy down there, your significant other isn't going to be happy with you, and they're going to want no part of anything that's going on that looks like the Amazon rainforest. Here's the deal. You can get 20% off and free shipping on the best men's grooming products, and take care of all of that down below, or even on your chest, your back, your beard, or your hair, by going to manscape.com/49ers and enter the promo code 49ers. The brand new Lawnmower 4.0 is fantastic. 4 interchangeable blades, a battery life that lasts forever. It's also waterproof. You got to try it out. I use these products on the regular. You can too by using that link. Now, we have to bring in John Lynch to the equation as well, because a coach is often tied with the general manager, especially when the general manager hires the coach. And in year 5, to be 8 games under 500, only 1 winning season, is a coach general manager tandem that has not lived up to expectations, and they haven't done their respective jobs, especially when it comes to the NFL draft, which is crucial when you're trying to build a consistent winner. Now, every team has misses, but you can't afford to have multiple misses that are consistent misses in the first and second rounds, or with the first 2 picks. Let's take a look at the Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch track record, the top 2 picks on a year-by-year basis. In 2017, back-to-back picks, they go with Solomon Thomas and Reuben Foster. None are on the team, and Reuben Foster is out of the league. So both of those guys go down as busts. 2018, Mike McGlinchey in the first round, Dante Pettis in the second round. I think Mike McGlinchey has been bad since he got drafted. Dante Pettis is now on the New York Giants. He didn't last long at all in Santa Clara. How about 2019? actually pretty good. Nick Bosa and Deebo Samuel as the first two picks. These are franchise cornerstones. Nick Bosa, one of the best edge rushers in the league. Deebo Samuel has been playing like one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. 2020, I think the jury is still out. Javon Kinlaw, he might be placed on IR. That knee injury continues to surface. I'm concerned about that. And then the Niners also selected Brandon Aiyuk in the first round, who is in the witness protection program still. And then in 2021, it's way too early to tell. I think Trey Lance has a lot of ability. I think he can be dynamic. I like his overall athletic qualities, and he has a lot of potential to be a lethal quarterback, but who knows what he's going to be down the road. Aaron Banks, on the other hand, has not been active for a single game this season, and he plays a position where the Niners are very thin at right guard. Daniel Brunskill, Tom Compton, both ahead of him. Yeah, that ain't great. The roster across the board is talented. So John Lynch and Shanahan, who really combined forces to form this roster, both have say with it. I think Shanahan has more say than John Lynch, in my opinion, and it's certainly talented with some premier pieces. But to miss on all those draft picks going back to 2017, it's really just not good at all. So who do you think is more to blame for the 49ers struggles, which are happening before our eyes right now? Is it Shanahan? Is it Lynch? Type KS for Shanahan, type JL for Lynch. Once again, get those vote submissions in the comment section. Big week for the Niners. If last week was a must-win, what does that make this week on the road at Soldier Field against the Chicago Bears? It's a massive game. And we have a little bit of a competition going on here at the Chat Sports offices between the 49ers Report, hosted by yours truly, appreciate you watching today, as well as Chicago Bears Now, which is hosted by Harrison Graham. Now, we're ahead of Bears Now by about 7,000 subscribers, but going into Sunday, I want to continue to distance ourselves from Chicago Bears Now. So if you want the best 49ers coverage on the entire internet, hit that red subscribe button. Let's take down Chicago Bears Now. Let's get to some Brandon Aiyuk trade rumors, because people continue to talk about Aiyuk and his lack of involvement in Kyle Shanahan's offense. This was actually a large talking point during the pregame on Sunday Night Football, during the game, and after the game. Last night, he totaled 1 catch on 1 target for 6 yards, and he also had 1 carry for 3 yards. So my wishes of Aiyuk being involved in the offense more didn't come to fruition. He also had that mysterious play on the touchback where it was a muff punt. I don't think he knew the rule, but it worked out for the Niners' favor because it wasn't ruled a safety. But Aiyuk's head doesn't seem to be in the game right now, and that might be because he's suffering from a lack of confidence, because his head coach and the general manager continued to kind of call him out to a certain degree. And your confidence is going to be low when you're not getting the necessary reps and plays. Now, Bleacher Report and a couple of other publications have floated the idea of a Brandon Aiyuk trade, and I want to pass that along because that's what we do here on the Niners Report, giving you the latest news and rumors. Bleacher Report proposed a Brandon Aiyuk trade to the New Orleans Saints, given the uncertainty in the future of star wide receiver Michael Thomas. Could Aiyuk go to New Orleans, an offensive mastermind in Sean Payton, and become a better player? Maybe. Here's what BR had to say. The relationship between the Saints and Michael Thomas may be broken, as the 2-time NFL receptions leader intimated the organization tried to damage his reputation in August. A month earlier, he finally decided to have surgery to repair ligaments in his ankle. A potential divorce could be forthcoming, which places the Saints in a difficult position to replace one of the most productive wide receivers in recent NFL history. Brandon Aiyuk fell out of favor with the San Francisco 49ers as well. He's worked his way back from a training camp injury, but the team's leading receiver in 2020 now finds himself as the offense's 5th option behind Deebo Samuel, Mohamed Sanu, George Kittle, and fullback Kyle Juszczyk. The dip in production really is crazy when you consider the fact that Mohamed Sanu is getting more targets than Brandon Aiyuk, and even Kyle Juszczyk is being utilized in this offense more than Brandon Aiyuk. As a rookie last year in 12 games, he led the team in targets, and now he's not even getting targeted at all. Kyle Shanahan, this quote made its rounds on Sunday Night Football. He said this about Aiyuk, and I think it's pretty telling as to where this relationship is right now. I love the kid, but he's got to start grinding. We go back to that report a couple months ago from Matt Mayoko of NBC Sports Bay Area when he had reported that Aiyuk is, quote, still learning to be a pro. Well, Kyle Shanahan, I understand that you might not be happy with Brandon Aiyuk's work ethic. You might not be happy with how he's playing and how his limited practice reps are translating to the game field. Well, when you've lost 4 games in a row, you know what I want you to do? Play your best players and get them the damn ball. That's all you got to do. Let's see what Brandon Aiyuk can do. Jet sweeps, bubble screens. Utilize him like you're utilizing Deebo Samuel. Put the ball in his hands and let's see if he can create plays. That's what you got to do. Please just do it. The Side Lion report. Looking into a Brandon Aiyuk trade from the Detroit Lions perspective. As general manager Brad Holmes possibly looks to acquire a wide receiver in the next week plus, Aiyuk could be on his radar now if he wasn't already. The 49ers might take whatever they can get for him at this point, a bag of footballs, but a conditional late-round pick based on playing time, production, etc. should get it done. I actually disagree. I think the Niners would be crazy and insane to trade away a first-round pick from a year ago from a late-round conditional pick. Because when you look at his production last year, in 12 games, yes, it was on an injury-depleted offense. These are very, very good numbers for a rookie. 96 targets, 60 receptions, 748 yards, and 5 touchdowns. For a rookie to have that production, people were talking about that first-round rookie draft class as one of the better in recent memory with C.D. Lamb, Justin Jefferson, and Brandon Aiyuk was factored into that equation. Now, my man is on missing posters all throughout Santa Clara and in every pocket of America because everybody's trying to figure out where the hell is Brandon Aiyuk. Another message for Kyle Shanahan. And again, I have defended him in the past, and I've still defended him on this show. Kyle, with this whole Brandon Aiyuk thing, we know that he can play. He has displayed that in the past. Figure it the fuck out. You just got to figure it the fuck out. Get this guy the football, allow him to make some plays, and involve him in his offense. I thought Rodney Harrison made a good point on Sunday Night Football in the pregame when he was like, I like John Lynch, but to make public comments which are directed and point to Brandon Aiyuk's lack of work ethic, that's not what you do. You know what you do to build back your player's confidence? You involve him in the offense, you target him, you find a way to just get him the football, and you build his confidence up by complimenting him and not going public with your thoughts, which are obviously happening behind the scenes. Otherwise, Brandon Aiyuk wouldn't be missing in Santa Clara. So are you concerned about the Aiyuk dilemma? My last question for the Niner gang before I get out of here on this Monday. Type Y for yes, type N for no. Get those votes in. And as always, thanks for making the 49ers Report a part of your day.